Thank you, Presiding Officer. Firstly, may I offer my congratulations to both you and your fellow Presiding Officers on your election to your new positions, and may I wish you all the very best in your new roles.
You've made a brilliant start.
I listen and learn. For me, as the newly elected member of Renfrewshire South, it is an honour and a privilege to have the opportunity to participate in this important debate in this, our national parliament. Before addressing the signal question of Scotland and the United Kingdom's relationship with the European Union, I would like to say a few words about my predecessor, Hugh Henry, and the constituency I am now proud to represent. In a career spanning over 3 decades, Hugh served his party, his community, his constituency and his country with distinction. As a councillor, council leader, MSP, minister, shadow minister, committee convener and former politician of the year, Hugh Henry leaves a formidable legacy, and I wish Hugh and his family the very best for a long and healthy retirement. The constituency of Renfrewshire South encompasses the proud and diverse communities of southern and western Renfrewshire. Several of these towns and villages are of some renown and fame. Cobarcan, well known today for its restored Weaver's Cottage, was in 1875 the birthplace of Mary Ruff. From Cobarcan, the Ruff family moved to Elderslie, also in my constituency, where Mary, at Wallace Place, would marry David Barber of Johnston, assuming the name we all know her by today. Over a century later, the ideals of 2 of Renfrewshire's most famous children would be as one in a union of progressive politics and the idea of an independent Scotland. My constituency is also home to Linwood, in which, from the ashes of a deindustrialisation inflicted from afar, is emerging a centre of community-led regeneration. Last week, I had the pleasure of meeting with the Linwood Community Development Trust, brought into being and driven forward by a group of local women whose drive and determination is only matched by their ambition for their community. Linwood is, in some respects, a microcosm of Scotland, an empowered and engaged community coming together to shape their collective future. In the months and years ahead, I look forward to sharing with this chamber the many stories from the many communities of Renfrewshire South. I look forward to working towards creating a fairer and more prosperous Renfrewshire South, just as we are all united in this place and working together to creating a fairer and more prosperous Scotland. But for a fair and prosperous Scotland, indeed, for a fair and prosperous United Kingdom, we must not turn our backs on our European partners. There have been, and I'm sure there will be further, erudite and considered contributions to this debate that will present and articulate many economic, fiscal and social justifications for remaining in the European Union. However, with the time I have remaining, and speaking as a new and young, though he's left his place now, not that young, MSP, I'd like to convey a sense of what the European means to me personally, and I think also to many people of my generation. My earliest memory of any political event is of the TV news reports from Berlin in November 1989. As a wee boy watching the television, I didn't, of course, understand the context or historical significance of what I was seeing. What I do remember is the sense that the events unfolding were important, and I recall recognising in a sense of shared humanity the hope and joy etched on the faces of those surmounting and tearing down that wall. I share this experience with the Chamber because in its simplicity, innocence and humanity, it recognises what I think is most fundamental in this debate. The European Union cannot be reduced to a set of trade deals and diplomatic arrangements. What began as a means to ensure that French and German coal reserves could never again be used as capital in war-making is now the most successful community of independent nation-states ever to be assembled. It is testimony to this success that so many nations have aspired and continue to aspire to membership. To be a citizen of the European Union is to be one of 500 million people who each have a stake in this great project that gives expression to our ancient shared identity as Europeans. And it is now for us, with our multi-layered identities as Scots, Brits, Europeans and as citizens of the EU, that we must make a choice. Will we recommit to that shared project of peace, prosperity and social justice, or will we allow ourselves to be seduced by the siren calls of isolationism and division? Are we prepared to work in partnership to confront the challenges of this century and together embrace opportunity? Or will we indulge in the myopia of some imagined mid-Atlantic future? A month after the collapse of the wall, Leonard Bernstein famously conducted an international orchestra in 2 performances of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in East Berlin, notably transforming Schiller's Ode to Joy into an Ode to Freedom. The symbolism of this speaks to us now as clearly as it did then. Generations past and present have seen the bloody consequences of a Europe divided, but we have all lived and shared in the prosperity of a Europe united. As citizens of this great community of independent nations, let us stay together and work together for a prosperous and peaceful future.